Hey guys, Travis here. Welcome to my mobile home park. I want to start off by telling you why I like mobile home parks, why you should invest in them, and why I invest in them. So you can get into a mobile home park for a low cost of entry. You can get loans from banks, you can get seller financing from people that own them. What's cool about mobile home parks is the owners will normally seller finance them to you. So you just negotiate a down payment, an interest rate, and a payment that works for you. So the way you can do that is calculate what lot rent is, what rent is for each home, and see what payment you could afford after taxes, insurance, and your payment, and what cash flow you're cool with making after that to analyze the deal. I look at it just like any other deal. It's got to be at least 2%. I'm gonna break down the numbers for this park and then we're gonna walk through it. I purchased this park for $375,000. It was on the market for $575,000. It expired. I called the owner. I said, hey, your park expired. I wanna buy it. He's like, screw off. I'm not taking $375,000. I said, hold on. Why don't we meet? Let's talk about it. I really want this park. Let me see the numbers. He wouldn't meet me. He sent me the numbers. And then I explained to him why I needed it for $375,000. It was bringing in $5,200 a month, and after paying a mortgage, taxes, insurance, everything, I wouldn't be making anything. I showed him that if I were to buy it at the higher number, and I ended up getting it at $375, negotiated a 10% interest rate, so my payments in the twos, it's like $2,500 a month, and each one of these brings in $800 a month. I've got 14 spots, 13 are rented at $800 a month. Do the math. So my mortgage is $2,500. I bring in almost $10,000 a month. My taxes are only $12,000 a year. So let's say that's $1,000. This thing's bringing in pretty good cash flow. Let's just call it conservatively, after every single thing, I clear the bank at least $3,000 a month. And that's saying that I'm having to fix something or do something, but they're pretty self-sufficient. So anyway, let's walk through this park. I want to show it to you. All these are original homes. I didn't switch, I put one in. This one was already here. We rehabbed it, didn't put much into it. Mobile homes are cheap to rehab. You could make the insides nice for not a lot. So there's an empty spot we need another home for. So here's the numbers on this, is I can fill that spot for $10,000 and I can get $800 a month. People spend, you know, $100,000 on a house to get $800,000 a month. Plus, what's cool about mobile homes is you can put them on a note. None of these are on notes. I rent them all out. But eventually, if I ever wanted to sell them, I could get a down payment and they could pay me a note. I don't ever have to worry about it. I have a park manager in all my parks that I have, and I usually really trust that person with money, and they take care of the place because I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to deal with anything. I usually give him free rent and I pay him a little cut of things. He lives right there. So the city actually regulates these parks too. This is downtown San Antonio. So the city comes through here like once a month. If the grass is high, if there's trash, like this right here actually, they'll actually not get on my ass, but they'll get on their ass. So that's pretty cool. But I have to have a license to actually own this park in the city. So it's not all just, oh, I'm gonna go buy a park. I gotta maintain a license to be able to buy a park. And then I gotta take courses, but I'm up to date. And you have to have that to own this thing. All right, so somebody owes me rent and usually my manager collects it. All I do is go knock on their door, be like, hey man, what's going on? If they don't pay me, I put a 3-day notice to pay or vacate, just like you would on any other house in Texas. Pay or vacate. If they don't pay, put the amount they owe. If they don't pay you, send it into the courthouse, and then they'll give you an eviction date a few weeks later. It's pretty easy. Most people here, they pay because utilities are included. $800 a month, utilities included. It's a fixed cost, like, you can't beat it. It's hard to find that rent price. Across the street, they're $200 more a month. So I stay full year round. If somebody is leaving, they refer their cousin or uncle or family member or something. So I have a good renter right away. I got a really cool one I'm gonna show you. So that one sticking out right there is number 13. I guess what color is that? Like a pinkish color? So I bought it for $1,200 on Craigslist. I rented it out for $800 a month for 2 years. Now I get $1,000 a month. Little hack. I'm always looking at Craigslist because there's always somebody that wants to move or move their family member's trailer out, or they want to build a nice house. They'll give you their trailer. Always look on Craigslist. So some parks, people own the trailers, some people own just the lots. It's your preference. I've had a lot of older mentors and they've told me like, hey, you either need to own all of them or own none of them. And so what I do here is I own all of them. At all my parks, I actually own all of them. I like it that way because I can control the narrative. If I want them out, I want them out, I own it all. But if I didn't, and say that I just wanted to sell this one on a note tomorrow, I could say, look, I'm gonna sell it for $20,000. I want $5,000 down. I want this payment a month. And here's your lot rent. I could do it that way too. So if you're investing in a mobile home park, there's actually cons. Everything's not just sunshines and rainbows, right? You need to be good with people. You have to pick the right person. You need a manager. You can't do everything. You can't haul ass over here every time somebody has a complaint. Tell the manager, hey, you know what? I'm gonna give you free rent. I'm gonna give you a little cut of the rents, whatever you gotta do, but you gotta be able to trust them. Until you don't, right? You're like, well, how do I trust them? I trust people till I don't. That's my answer to that. But the thing is when I bought this park, big value add, because it was full of just people that didn't pay their rent. They were on the city was over here, there were shootings. I came over here personally, like threw people out. It was a crazy deal. I made a clean community. I like doing that. But it's not just all fluffy, right? You need to be involved if you buy something like this. You need to know everybody. Everybody here knows me. I've been in every one of their units. If they saw me, they know me right now. Some of the other problems are if your grass is tall, if you have trash out, the people are gonna get fined. You gotta make sure that stuff's enforced. Somebody here has gotta take ownership, and you gotta find somebody that takes ownership and cares about the place just as much as you would. All right, so you do get tax benefits from owning a park. You can do cost segregations and things like that. They can actually give you a segregation for the power lines, the water line, everything like that, but it's different than a single family depreciation wise. I mean, these homes aren't worth as much as your normal house, so you know your depreciation is gonna be much less. However, there's a lot more of them. My biggest piece of advice if you're gonna wanna own a mobile home park is look at your numbers. If you can make the numbers work, where you're gonna make enough cash to make it worth the headache to get it going, because once it gets going, if you set it up right, it's like anything else, it's golden. But it's gonna be work at first, so make sure the numbers work. The way that I always tell people to calculate numbers right off the bat is, say that I bought this for $350,000. What's 2% of that? That's $7,000 a month. So right off the bat, if I'm analyzing a bunch of parks, I know if I see 350,000, gross income 7,000, I'm gonna look into it. That doesn't mean it's gonna cash flow, that there might be a lot more expenses, but I'm gonna look into it because that looks pretty badass. So that's how I would quickly analyze these deals. Guys, I'm doing this content, that way I can educate you on this side of the world. Mobile home parks, low class to higher class, whatever. I do single families, mobile home parks, all that. I know there's a big faux pas, there's not a lot of education out there. There is a book, it's called Tin Can Alley. I tell everybody about it whenever they're looking into mobile home parks. But I just want to educate you, let you know about my journey, what I've learned. Hopefully I can give you wisdom and experience through what I've learned. There's your dog. If you like what you see, you like this kind of footage of my parks and my homes and all that stuff, follow my page, subscribe, like, comment below. I'd really genuinely like to hear from you. I want to hear your opinion on this kind of topic.